They promised a miracle, but delivered a catastrophe. The tension was rising. Fans were expecting a comeback, but in the end, everything fell apart right before their eyes. What went wrong with Real Madrid in the match against Arsenal? Why were the stands silent and the stars fading? And was it really Carlo Ancelotti's final dance at the Bernabeu? Real Madrid's players were seriously determined to stage a comeback against Arsenal and spoke openly about it. Vinicius wrote that the entire team was focused solely on the second leg and eagerly awaited the match at the Santiago Bernabeu. All thoughts are on Wednesday. We're ready and waiting. We are real, the Brazilian declared. However, as the match approached, it became increasingly clear. The atmosphere within the Madrid camp was far from perfect. According to Relevo, the club's management had prepared a grand show at their home stadium, including unique lighting effects used at the Bernabeu for the first time. All of this was designed to fire up the stands and put pressure on the opponent from the first minute. During training, the coaching staff increased the intensity, focusing on ball possession and pressing. The plan was simple: score as quickly as possible and psychologically crush the Gunners. Nevertheless, warning signs began to emerge even during preparations. The team didn't seem united. Carlo Ancelotti unexpectedly gave game time to Kylian Mbappe in the last La Liga match, despite the fact that the striker clearly wasn't mentally ready to play. Many expected the young Endrick to be given a chance, but the coach made a different choice, one that ended in another outburst. Mbappe received a red card, lost his composure, and left a poor impression just ahead of the crucial game. To make matters worse, a conflict broke out during one of the training sessions between Antonio Rudiger and Jude Bellingham. According to journalist Edu Aguirre, the situation nearly turned into a physical fight. The exact reason remains unclear, but rumors suggest it started with a rough tackle during a minigame. Although the conflict was quickly de-escalated and the players were made to shake hands, the tension remained. It wasn't the kind of environment where miracles are born. Further concern was raised by Ancelotti's own behavior. Usually calm and composed, he lashed out at the team during one of the training sessions, accusing the players of lacking commitment and focus. Such outbursts are rare for the Italian coach, and only added fuel to the speculation about his uncertain future at the club. All of this pointed to one conclusion. Despite their declarations of an upcoming remontada, there were far more doubts and nerves than confidence in the Real Madrid camp. The second leg between Real Madrid and Arsenal was packed with drama. But in the end, every fan was left with their own impression. Some discussed the controversial refereeing decisions. Others praised the match's narrative. But for me personally, it was a night of disappointment. Not because of the score, but because of how Real looked, especially after all the bold statements made beforehand. From the opening minutes, Los Blancos really did try to put pressure on the visitors. It seemed like the plan was working. Intense pressing, energetic play, an early goal. Kylian Mbappe even found the net. But the joy was short-lived, as the offside was obvious and quickly flagged. Then came the real refereeing drama. French referee François Letexier awarded a penalty to Arsenal several minutes after a corner kick, citing a foul by Asensio in the box. The ball wasn't even near the fouled player, yet the referee still pointed to the spot. Fortunately for Madrid, Bukayo Saka couldn't handle the pressure. Thibaut Courtois calmly saved the shot. A similar scene unfolded on the other end when Mbappe went down in the box after contact with Declan Rice. The referee initially pointed to the spot, but after a VAR check, the decision was reversed. Fans and experts were split. Some felt the calls were fair, others believed the standards were inconsistent. But even putting all the controversies aside, one question remains. Where was the promised comeback? Real didn't register a single shot on target before halftime, and their expected goals, XG, barely reached 0.15. Meanwhile, Arsenal coolly extinguished any flickers of Madrid's aggression. In fact, the Londoners could have scored more. In the second half, both teams found the net. Arsenal executed a brilliant build-up from the back, while Madrid capitalized on a defender's major blunder. But here's the paradox. The star trio of Mbappe, Vinicius, and Bellingham looked completely powerless against their opponents. There was a lack of movement, speed, and intensity. The result? Real ran 10 kilometers less than Arsenal. How does one explain that after all the tough talk about a remontada? Expectations were high, the show was promised to be spectacular, the coaching staff prepared both crowd choreography and tactical pressure. But in the end, it was a limp and meaningless performance. Arsenal played with maturity and confidence, while Real looked like a team that didn't believe in its ability to turn the tie around. All the talk about club DNA, character, and the power of the Bernabeu remained just talk. So now, Madrid must digest this defeat and ask themselves the biggest question of all. Where was the Real Madrid that knows how to overturn nights like this? It seems that team remained a dream. Carlo Ancelotti commented on Real Madrid's Champions League elimination following their 1-2 defeat to Arsenal, and his words sounded like a frank admission. The failure is truly painful. However, according to the Italian coach, it's an inevitable part of football. There are moments of triumph and there are moments of disappointment, and one must learn to deal with the latter. Ancelotti didn't make excuses. He admitted that over the course of the 2 legs, the London side was better. In his view, Real gave their all, tried to dictate the tempo and pushed forward, especially in the second match. But it wasn't enough. Even the controversial penalty that wasn't awarded in Madrid's favor, Ancelotti said, doesn't change the bigger picture. Arsenal were more organized, compact, and effective. The Blancos coach also stressed that now is not the time for deep analysis. Getting knocked out of the tournament is a blow, and the team must accept it with dignity. Ancelotti also reminded everyone that Real Madrid has consistently performed at a high level in the Champions League in recent years, succeeding where other clubs failed. Yes, it didn't work out this season, but that's no reason to write off all the work that's been done. Amid ongoing rumors about his possible departure, Ancelotti gave no clear answer about his future. He admitted that he doesn't know what decision the club's management will make. His contract might be terminated early, or he might stay until the end of his term. Either way, Carlo emphasized that he remains grateful to Real Madrid for everything they've gone through together. If my time here comes to an end, I'll simply say thank you. Whether that's tomorrow or in a year, it doesn't matter, the coach concluded. Meanwhile, the Spanish press has been increasingly buzzing with the name of a potential successor, Xabi Alonso. He was being called the main candidate to become the new head coach of Los Blancos. Rumors suggested that a change at the helm could happen as early as this summer. Although Real still had goals to pursue, La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and the Club World Cup, the atmosphere already hinted that the Ancelotti era in Madrid was nearing its end. Fabrizio Romano had indicated even before the second leg against Arsenal that the chances of Carlo Ancelotti leaving Real Madrid this summer were very high. According to insider information, everything could be decided right after the return match in the Champions League. Let us remind you, Madrid had lost the first leg Euro 3, and the prospect of a comeback was, to put it mildly, vague. Some had already written Los Blancos off, and, as it turned out, they were right. Following the defeat to Arsenal and Real's exit from the tournament, discussions about Ancelotti's dismissal became more serious. The leading candidate to replace him remains Xabi Alonso. His project at Bayer Leverkusen continues to impress Europe-wide. However, Leverkusen are not eager to let their coach go. The club's management openly stated that they are counting on Alonso and are already planning next season with him. In an interview, they even admitted they were hoping that Real would beat Arsenal and keep Ancelotti, so they wouldn't have to lose Xabi. The situation is truly complicated. If Ancelotti is dismissed and Alonso stays in Germany, who will then take over Real Madrid? A return for Zinedine Zidane seems unlikely. All signs point to the French national team as his next destination. Jurgen Klopp? Possibly in the future. But for now, after leaving Liverpool, he has taken a break and recently joined the Red Bull project. In the short term, his move to Madrid seems improbable. As a result, Real's management is facing a tough decision. Either continue with Ancelotti despite the Champions League failure, or take a risk and search for a new coach, without any guarantee that their top candidate will be available. As has become clear, Ancelotti's fate depended not so much on results, but on the availability of a worthy replacement. And if such a figure cannot be secured, Florentino Perez may well choose stability. However, judging by the volume of leaks and the intensity of reporting in the Spanish press, Real Madrid already seems prepared to start a new chapter. And now a question for you. If not Xabi Alonso, then who? Who should lead Real Madrid next season? And why? Share your opinion. Let's discuss. That's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like this video, and be sure to watch our previous video. It just appeared before your eyes right now. See you. Good luck to everyone. Goodbye.